Snow taps the window, tick-tock clock. Big old house, but I'm the only one awake. Suitcases gone, the lights stay low. Footsteps echo where laughter used to go. TV glow and a bowl of ice cream. Feels like freedom, or maybe just a dream. Basement shadows try to scare my night, but I stand tall in the hallway light. If trouble knocks, I'll play it smart. Little hands, big plans, brave little heart. I'm dancing solo in this empty house, swinging through the silence, learning how. From fear to fun, from tears to cheer, a little courage grows right here. Paint cans fly, the floor says slide. Funny how trouble never learns to hide. Every trap swings in perfect time, like a joke wrapped up in a jazz line. Through frosted glass and city lights, I miss those voices late at night. But love finds ways to lead me home, even when I'm standing all alone. Now the house don't feel so wide, with Christmas bells and swing inside. I held the night, I faced my fear. Solo no more, they're almost here. Snow keeps falling, door unlocks. Jazz fades out as the clock goes soft.
Neon on glass, winter on my coat, a crowd of goodbyes in slow motion. Paper folded small inside my hand, like a secret map I barely understand. Names on the board, time in little squares, hearts in a hurry, carried up the stairs. A suitcase thumps, a laugh disappears. Someone waves like they're hiding tears. I hold my breath, I check the clock. Love feels brave, then forgets to talk. Letters at the airport, words I never said, spinning in my pocket like a song in my head. If I miss the moment, let the melody stay. Meet me in the ending of a winter day. Coffee in a paper cup, too hot to hold. I watch the lights turn blue and gold. A child asleep on a parent's shoulder. The world feels loud, the year feels older. Shoes on tile keep a steady beat, like brushes dancing soft and neat. I rehearse a line I won't deliver, then smile anyway. just to shiver. Letters at the airport, words I never said, spinning in my pocket like a song in my head. If I miss the moment, let the melody stay. Meet me in the ending of a winter day. Maybe love is not a perfect scene, just strangers turning soft between. A hand that hesitates then holds a simple truth. The year unfolds. So if you're out there somewhere in the crowd, I'll keep it gentle, I won't say it loud. I'll let the music do what I can't do. Wrap my heart in a ribbon of blue. Letters at the airport, now I understand. Some goodbyes are bridges, not the final land. If the night is heavy, let the horns be brave. Meet me where the falling snow forgave. I'll be here where the lights come home. I'll be here when you're not alone. The door clicks shut, the cold stays out. A quiet room learns how to breathe. Shoes by the door, coats on the chair. A borrowed house that feels like hair. Wood starts talking in orange light. Every shadow finally sits right. Cups on the table, steam in the air. Old records hum like they've been there. No need for plans, no need to rush. The night leans in, the world leans. No fireplace conversations, slow and low. Little truths we never had to show. If the year was loud, let it rest tonight. We'll let the flames do all the talking right. Stories circle, half remembered, laughing at things we almost meant, dear. Time slips easy between the lines, like pouring wine, like missing signs. Windows glow with a steady gold. Outside the dark is growing and old. Inside we learn a softer pace, letting silence find its place. Fireplace conversations, soft and kind. Nothing lost and nothing to define. If the world kept asking us to choose, tonight we only listen, we don't lose. Maybe home is just a sound, a voice that doesn't need to be found. A pause between the things we say, where worries quietly melt away. So if tomorrow asks for more, we'll answer later, not before. For now the clock can close its eyes, the fire knows, and so do I. Fireplace conversation, staying near all the things that made this year. If love is small, let it be true. Like flames that dance, just me and you. Stay a little, don't turn the page. Let the fire keep time for
Lights on early bells too loud. I think that you just broke the dial. Stockings up in early November. Someone's dancing, no one remembers. Who said calm, who said slow? The radio won't let it go. Cookies baking, doors unlocked. A laugh attacks the living room clock. Every corner sings along. Something's right or wildly wrong. Too much Christmas spirit in the air. Tinsel in my hair, joy everywhere. If it's wrong, don't turn it down. Let it swing and shake this town. Sweaters louder than my thoughts. Hugs arrive before they knock. Someone's clapping off the beat, but somehow it feels complete. Candy canes in every key. Even silence sounds like glee. I tried to hide, I tried to steer, but the season found me here. Too much Christmas spirit, way too soon. Dancing shadows, afternoon moon. In red and sky. Maybe it's a little much, maybe joy forgot to hush. But if laughter breaks the rules, I'll be guilty, happily fooled. Too much Christmas spirit, let it ring. Every little reckless thing. If the world just swing it louder now. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's enough. Maybe one more light.
Snow outside the window. Time moves like breath. Teacups waiting by the fire. Letters tied with fading twine. Footsteps creaking wooden halls. Every sound feels small. Hands are busy, hearts are still. Daylight bends along the sill. Nothing urgent, nothing new. Just winter passing through. Snow outside the window, falling slow. All the things we didn't know. If the world was rushing past, this moment asks it to last. Stories told for the 100th time, still they land like they're in rhyme. Someone hums a half-known tune. Afternoon turns into blue. The year feels folded, neat and worn, like a dress that's been reborn. Every stitch a quiet care. Every silence fair. Snow outside the window, soft and white, turning hours into light. If we're changing, let it be slow as snow on memory. Maybe growing is just this, learning how to coexist with all we've loved and all we've lost without counting up the cost. So let the cold stay on the street. Here the air is kind and sweet. We don't need to say a word. Everything is heard. Snow outside the window, year runs thin. All we were and all we've been. If tomorrow asks for more, tonight we're enough right here indoors. Snow outside the window, still falling, still kind.
Steel rails humming under snow. The city exhales soft and low. Platform lights in amber glow. Footsteps echo coming slow. Coats pulled tight, a borrowed calm. Cold air slips into my palm. A schedule posted slightly wrong. Every minute feels too long. I watch my breath learn how to stay till the last train finds its way. Last train home. Don't rush the night. Let the windows keep the light. If a stranger shares the view, maybe fate is running late. Coffee cups and paper smiles. We've been waiting here a while. Names exchanged without a plan. Just winter doing what it can. A laugh lands soft and drifts away like snow that doesn't choose to stay. The city hums a gentle rhyme telling me I'm right on time. Last train home, hear it sigh. Every ending passing by. If I miss what might have been, let the rails forgive the spin. Maybe love is just a pause between the noise without a cause. A moment warm enough to hold before the doors decide to close. So if tomorrow never calls, I'll keep tonight the way it falls. A shared silence understood. Nothing promised, nothing rude. Last train home, the bell rings clear. I step forward without fear. If this night is all I know, it's enough to let it go. Tracks fade out beneath the snow. I'm already home, you know.
like secrets winter chose to keep. Streetlight halo, silver glow, names I almost said out loud, a note I wrote and didn't save, left its meaning on the ground. Hands were cold, the night was kind, time felt loose, not far behind. Every chance we didn't chase, learned to breathe in open space. Written somewhere in the snow, things we didn't need to know. If the truth is meant to stay, it will find another day. Coffee rings and folded dreams, waiting lines and in-betweens, a number smudged, a page torn through, still the thought returns to you. Prefers delay, taking longer, finding way. Every step that's led astray leaves a sign we can't erase. Written somewhere in the snow, past the curve and softly go. If the night forgets our names, let the morning keep the flame. If it's fate, it won't demand, it knows how to hold a hand, loosen grip, a patient pace, trust in time to set the place. So I'll walk without a map, let the quiet fill the gap. If we meet, it won't be late, every pause is part of fate. Written somewhere in the snow, all the maybes we outgrow. If tomorrow brings a sign, I'll read it when the stars align. Footprints cross, then disappear. Still gloves pulled tight, the air stays thin. Some things start where words don't begin. Winter coats brush past each other, eyes meet once then look away. Every feeling learns to whisper, in the quiet we obey. Streetlights hum in pale refrain, snow behaves like falling glass. Every step rehearses distance, every moment meant to last. Lost and unspoken words, everything we never heard. If I don't say what's in my mind, it's only 'cause it feels too kind. Coffee cooling on the side, time pretending not to care. Your reflection in the window stays with me when you're not there. Hands remain where hands should stay, polite and careful just in case. Every rule we never wrote still finds its place. Gloves and unspoken words, promises that never stirred. If this silence feels too close, it's the only truth I chose. Some loves bloom without a sound, never lost and never found. Not a fire but steady heat, something real we never meet. So I walk beside the thought of what we almost caught. Let it stay just as it is, a beautiful unfinished kiss. Gloves and unspoken words, all the meaning we deferred. If this night is all we share, it's enough to know you're there. Snow keeps falling, none the wiser, so do I.
Neon spills across the glass. Another night learning how to pass. Elevator hums a tired tune. Hallway lights stay half asleep. City breathing just below. Promises it doesn't keep. Shoes by the door, jacket on the chair. A room that knows I won't stay long. For an hour's borrowed time. Every silence sings along. Neon reflections on my face. I almost recognize this place. If I'm lonely, let it glow, like a sign I don't need to know. Late night TV, volume low, voices drifting out of sync. A thought arrives, then changes shape before I even have to think. Windows frame a different life, cars like rivers far below. I sip the night, it tastes like rain. Somewhere soft, somewhere slow. Neon reflections pale and blue. Every streetlight feels like you. If I'm lost, don't turn me around. Let me listen to this sound. Maybe meaning isn't loud. Maybe it just waits around. In a glance that doesn't ask, in a moment If I leave without a name, if tomorrow feels the same, I'll remember how it felt to be quiet, to be held. Neon reflections fade at dawn. Still the night keeps holding on. If I never say goodbye, it's because this moment's mine. Neon dims the city sighs, morning waits, but not tonight. Velvet night, the city holds its breath. Lights still smile like they know something else. Red and green on empty streets, holly ghosts beneath my feet. Every window looks away, every promise feels opaque. Ties undone, collars loose, truths dressed up in borrowed suits. Music drips like candle wax, nothing here relaxes back. Christmas lights after midnight, shining where they shouldn't be. If desire wears a costume, staring back at me. Footsteps echo out of time, every rule forgets its rhyme. Smiles linger half a beat, too polite to be discreet. I don't ask, I don't refuse, I just follow subtle cues. Curiosity dressed in silk, tastes like smoke, tastes like milk. Christmas lights after midnight, soft and sharp against the dark. Every glance is an invitation, every shadow leaves a mark. Some doors open without a sound, some truths don't want to be found. Not everything that feels like fate is meant to stay or meant to wait. So I breathe and count the cost of every line I almost crossed. If I turn back, I still see those lights watching me. Christmas lights after midnight, burning steady, cold and bright. If the night keeps what it knows, I'll let the morning close the door. Lights go dim, the spell is gone. Morning puts its manners on. midnight hums, the street slows down. Every step feels older now. Cobblestones remember shoes, stories stitched in midnight blues. Lamps lean low like they know my name. Time behaves a little strange. A doorway sighs, a clock runs late. I don't knock, I don't hesitate. The night invites me in between what has been and what will be. Walking back through time tonight, every wrong turns out alright. If the past begins to sway, I'll dance it forward anyway. Old cafes and folded dreams, ink-stained hands and vinyl scenes. Laughter drips from upstairs rooms. Hope wears yesterday's perfume. Every face feels softly known, like a thought I've always owned. I stay long enough to learn, then let the moment gently turn. Walking back through time tonight, borrowed stars and borrowed light. If tomorrow calls my name, I'll answer slow, I'll answer sane. Maybe longing love's a frame, golden edges soften blame, but I know the truth it hides now is where the living lies. So I thank the night for play, tip my hat then walk away, keeping just enough to see who I'm choosing next to be. Walking back through time tonight, past and present intertwined. If I lose the path I find, I'll trust the step I leave behind. Midnight fades, the street moves on, time waves back, then it's gone. I stood still long enough to hear my name clearly. I used to watch my life from a distance, like a picture framed behind glass. Every dream stayed safely folded, waiting for a moment to ask. I memorized the exits, I learned the safest lines, but courage never knocked politely, it just stood outside. I thought I needed answers, I thought I needed proof, but the road kept getting louder every time I stayed mute. Somewhere I finally went, past the doubt, past defense. Not a promise, not a plan, just my feet on unfamiliar land. Somewhere I finally went, where the what-ifs start to bend. If I changed along the way, that's the price I'm glad I paid. I carried years inside my pockets, unused maps and broken clues, all the versions I abandoned just to keep the one they knew. I waited to feel ready, I waited to feel brave, but the moment doesn't just gives then walks away. I saw my reflection shifting with every mile I chose. Turns out fear was just a shadow of a life I hadn't lived yet close. Somewhere I finally went through the quiet and the tense. Not a hero, not a leap, just a step I chose to keep. Somewhere I finally went, let the past stay where it's been. If I lost who I was before, I found something worth more. Maybe growth is not a feeling, maybe it's a scar you earn every time you stop pretending. Something real is bound to burn. I didn't chase a perfect ending, didn't wait for signs to glow. I just stopped calling it someday and said now, then let it go. Somewhere I finally went, all my fear finally spent. If the road changed how I see, that's the place that shaped me. Somewhere I finally went, every version softly met. I'm not lost, I'm not undone. I became who I'd run from. The year steps back, I'm standing here, and this time I thought I could outrun the past if I never looked behind. Years moved on without asking. Some stayed light, some stayed long. I tried to skip the heavier moments, but they kept pulling me along. I waved at things I didn't understand, held on when I should've let go. Some lessons came disguised as luck, some only came as no. I wanted clean conclusions, a story trimmed and neat, but life kept rolling forward, dragging mud onto my feet. Seems I didn't skip, even when I wanted to. Every fall, every lift taught me something true. If the real cuts are rough at times, if the frame refuses to fit, I'm still standing in the light of scenes I didn't skip. Faces blur but feelings don't. Some names still know my sound. I learned that love doesn't always stay, but it always comes around. I said yes when fear said no. I stayed quiet when I should have spoken. Some bridges burned behind my steps, some just cracked and open. I thought strength meant running, I thought loss meant defeat. Turns out staying in the moment is the bravest way to breathe. Seems I didn't skip, every night I couldn't quit. Every road that bent my pride still walked me to this side. If the past still calls my name, I don't tell it to forget. I just listen and move on with scenes I didn't skip. And the days you kept on walking without knowing where you'd land. I wasn't fast, I wasn't wise, I wasn't built to win the race. I just kept going step by step, and somehow found my place. Scenes I didn't skip, every scar that taught me sense. If I had to live it twice, I wouldn't edit this. Every moment, good or torn, every night I chose to live. This is who I am because of scenes I didn't skip. Time keeps moving, wild and kind. I let it pass right by my side. Nothing special on the calendar, just another day I get to keep. Coffee cooling on the counter, morning light across the floor. Every sound feels oddly louder than it ever did before. Keys forgotten, shoes mismatched, a quiet rush I used to hate. Now I pause inside the moment, like I finally learned to wait. I spent years chasing better days, thinking joy was something new. Turns out all that time was teaching me how to notice you. One ordinary day more, nothing I was asking for, but I live this moment twice. If I could slow the time, one ordinary day more. I don't need a perfect door if I get to walk it through here with you. Street lights flicker into evening, dinner talks about the small, all the things I used to miss. Now I hear them when they fall, hands brushing without meaning, and meaning finds its way. Love doesn't always announce itself, it just stays. I don't need to change the past or replay what's already done. If I'm present in the ordinary, I've already won. One ordinary day more, every second feels restored. If the miracle is this, I won't ask for more than this. One ordinary day more, let the hours close the door on the rush I ran before. I'm here now. Maybe time was never broken, maybe I was just away, running through the days too fast, calling life someday. If I had one chance to choose, I wouldn't rewind a thing. I just live it like tonight, let tomorrow bring. One ordinary day more, this is what I waited for. Not a spark, not something new, just the truth. One ordinary day more, every breath I can't ignore. If this moment's all I know, it's enough. Time We didn't plan to stay this long. We just kept talking. Coffee went cold on the table. Snow kept finding the glass. We argued over small opinions, like they mattered more than that. You said time changes everything. I said it mostly waits. We laughed like we'd heard it before. Turns out we had. Nothing heavy in the air, nothing trying to impress. Just a room that learned our rhythm over years of yes and guess. That deli on a cold afternoon, where the past feels almost new. If love is built from little lines, we crossed a few. That deli on a cold afternoon, no big speech, no grand truth, just time doing what it does between me and you. We talked about who we used to be, like old friends we outgrew. Some mistakes we still defend, some we finally let through. Your coat still smells like winter, mine's been here too long. Funny how the right conversation knows exactly when to come. I don't need to name the feeling, don't need to draw a line. Some things earn their meaning given time. A deli on a cold afternoon, where nothing had to move. If this is how the years arrive, I'll take a few. That deli on a cold afternoon, we didn't plan it, we just knew. Some stories don't announce themselves, they just continue. Maybe love is less a spark, more a seat you learn to keep. Showing up on ordinary days, staying when it's easy. Not a race, not a test, not a scene you have to prove. Just choosing to stay talking when you could have moved. The deli on a cold afternoon feels like something true. If all we did was keep on talking, that might do. That deli on a cold afternoon, no finish line in view, just time being kind to us, like it sometimes chooses to. We paid the bill, the snow kept falling, nothing ended. People still ask me why it snows here. I never tell them why. It came into our lives like winter, sudden, quiet, hard to name. Hands that never learned their purpose, heart that never
never learned the game. I watched him learn the shape of kindness through the cuts he tried to hide. Every smile cost him something, every touch asked him to decide. They thought love meant holding closer. I learned love could mean stepping back. Some things stay beautiful only when they're not intact. So I learned to let it snow, learned to let him go. If loving him meant keeping distance, that's the choice I chose. I learned to let it snow, even when it hurts me so. Some hearts stay warm forever by staying alone. We danced once under falling pieces, white like promises we knew. I felt the future in that moment, and I knew what I had to do. They say time makes things easier, it doesn't, it just makes them true. Every year when winter comes back, I remember him, I remember you. I could have stayed and broken something, I could have asked him to be less, but love that asks you to become smaller isn't love, I guess. So I learned to let it snow, learned to let him stay where the world couldn't hurt him, where I wouldn't be the blade. I learned to let it snow, learned what love can be. Sometimes it's not about the ending, it's about who you let be free. I didn't save him, I didn't change him, I didn't fix the story right. I just chose to carry the truth for the rest of my life. If that makes me brave or broken, I never really knew. I just knew the snow kept falling every time I thought of you. So I learned to let it snow, learned to live with knowing why. If loving him, living with the ache, I let that be my life. I learned to let it snow, let the world believe the tale. They think it's just the weather, but I know it's love that fell. That's why it snows here. That's why it always will. Check your coat, adjust your tone. The season has its manners. Marble floors remember footsteps better than the guests ever do. Everyone arrives with secrets wrapped in velvet, tied in blue. Keys are labeled, smiles rehearsed. Every favor has its price. Window checks and wearing perfume. Leaves by morning, twice as nice.
Nothing here is accidental. not the charm, not the delay.
Even kindness comes with timing. Serve the proper way.
Pink lobby, lady warmth.
Pink lobby, winter coat.
Goat spotlight.
Light lies and clever notes. If the world insists on order, we'll arrange it beautifully.
Beautifully.
Pink lobby, winter coat.
Every promise gently fold.
If we're pretending anyway, let's do it gracefully.
Bellboys running through the silence, carrying more than what they show.
Every story needs a witness. Every exit needs a bow.
I've seen worse,
I've seen better.
either way it all checks out.
Rules are just suggestions here. Elegance is how we bend. Nothing lasts forever but style we do defend. Pink lobby, winter coats. Time behaves, then misbehaves. If the truth feels inconvenient, we'll keep it safe and nicely
Framed.
Pink lobby, winter coats. Every scandal overdressed. If the past comes knocking loudly, we'll receive it as a guest.
History loves a clean revision,
A hero, a mistake, a line.
but life prefers its contradictions
Served with wine
to survival.
to impeccable taste. Pink lobby, winter coats. Laughing at the ticking clocks. If tomorrow changes everything, tonight remains composed. Pink lobby, winter coats. Nothing sacred, nothing false. Just a world that learned to sparkle, even when it's bound to fall. Sign the book, ring the bell. Next arrival.
The city looks kinder when you're not part of the plan. Lights are blinking through the curtains, someone else's holiday. I unlock a borrowed doorway and another borrowed day. Coats hang quiet by the window, shoes that don't belong to me. Every favor leaves a shadow on the things I couldn't be. I used to call this temporary. I used to say I understood. Funny how the word someday feels heavier than it should. Keys borrowed for the holiday, rooms that know my name. If I'm honest, I've been staying where it's easiest to stay. Keys borrowed for the holidays. Snow outside, I hesitate. If this life is mine, I've been late. Phones don't ring the way they used to. Silence fills the space just fine. I've been good at being useful, bad at calling something mine. Every toast I didn't raise, every line I didn't draw, I kept choosing quiet corners over wanting something more. I thought loneliness was safer than admitting I was tired. Turns out comfort without truth is just another kind of wire. Keys borrowed for the holidays, every door I never claimed. If I stay much longer here, I might forget what I became. Keys borrowed for the holidays, midnight trains and empty plates. If I don't change something soon, I'll be late. I'm not broken, I'm just careful. I learned well what not to say, but there's a cost to being easy to replace. If I leave the lights on tonight, it's not for company. It's just to prove I'm still awake, and this is still me. Borrowed for the holidays, I set them on the shelf. If the door asks who I'm living for, I'll answer for myself. Keys borrowed for the holidays, morning waits beyond the glass. If I walk out when the snow is gone, this might last. The key turns once, this time it's mine.
Someone's already awake. Morning finds the little places, cracks we never tried to mend. Someone holds the door a second longer just to let another in. The street looks tired but forgiving, like it's learned to start again. Every day is slightly better when we don't pretend. I used to think the world was heavy because I carried it alone. Turns out kindness weighs much less when it's shared and shown. Marmalade on a cold morning, sweet enough to make me stay. If the day feels worn and ordinary, that's okay. Marmalade on a cold morning, hands that pass it down the table. If we're gentle with each other, we're capable. extraordinary. That's the beauty I can see. The clock keeps ticking like it always did, but I don't feel behind. Every second feels more honest now that I take time. I don't need a perfect reason or a better place to be. If I show up as I am today, that's enough for me. Marmalade on a cold morning, warmth that doesn't try too hard. If the miracle is kindness, that's my part. Marmalade on a cold morning, every face a little kinder. If we look after one another, life feels lighter. Maybe happiness is practical, something small you choose to do. Holding space, holding patience, letting people through. No grand speech, no final line, no curtain call to claim. Just a table set for everyone and names. Oh, marmalade on a cold morning, I'll remember how it tastes when the year asks what I learned. I'll say grace. Marmalade on a cold morning. If this is where we end, I'm glad we stayed.